All right, we're going to go ahead and crank it up. What's going on, people? This is No Labels Podcast. I am your host, Willie G. We got Miss Audrey in the building.
Hey y'all. Hey. I forgot we got the soundboard.
We got Miss Audrey in the building, and we calling a spade today.
Call him spade a spade.
First off, how you doing?
I am tired but good. I started a new job. I'm training, and I've been living in South Carolina. I'm a Georgia girl. I've been living in South Carolina, back and forth. I head back out to Myrtle Beach again. I don't know if I'm gonna have to swing through Charleston again, but we'll see. But I'm just rolling with it. So glad to be home for a little minute, but I do gotta switch gears and head back up to Myrtle Beach. But so I'm tired. I'm tired from all the. I don't mind the driving. The road trips are fine. But when you have to be away like that, you have to change how you eat.
Yeah.
And I've been having nice hotels, but not hotels with kitchens, and I've been having a slight attitude about that.
That on the go food.
Yes, and so it's taking a toll on my physicality, my body, but it's a different, getting used to a new schedule, getting used to like some new routines. It's all really good, but I am admittedly tired, but good. I'm very glad to be here with you and No Labels in some sense of this is normal. This is part of what I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that for me too. The podcast is like therapy sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I get to sit down, but that's what's up. New job, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations again.
Thank you.
On the level up, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta. I'm gonna start the episode off with condolences and a shout out to
Yes.
DC Young Fly and that whole family.
Yes. So much love and comfort and peace to DC Young Fly. That whole family, the Wild 'N Out family, the children.
The children. God Almighty. Lord have mercy.
But
Yeah.
I really do love how he's just processing the grief through his faith. He'll be all right. It'll be tough and it'll be some moments, but God is faithful to his word.
And I got a chance to see his speech at the funeral. You know,
I haven't seen it yet.
It's kind of going viral right now. Everybody reposting it. But man, you can from I mean, first of all, you can see the pain in his face, but you can tell he has an authentic relationship with God by the way he speaks. You know
listen, I feel like you can tell it if you watch him regularly. And I've said that. We had a conversation about that before. I had a whole list of people like these people love God for real. And y'all don't, but DC Young Fly was really at the top of that list. But yeah, my heart goes out. But I believe that his faith is so anchored and strong. And then too, I don't know if I mentioned, my family, we just lost a member of our family,
my condolences.
We lost my uncle who was just just full of joy. And so I was spending some time in Tennessee with my family and my first cousins and my auntie. And so, we're working through my own loss. Here's what I have my own relationship with grief. Here's what I want people to be encouraged in. I think people disregard the amount of genuine laughter that lives in the world of grief. The Bible says a cheerful heart is like good medicine. And I know anybody that knows me, has talked to me for a while, knows I have a whole love affair with stand-up comedy because it truly was healing to me in my deepest, darkest grief. I felt like if you had to tell people what was my what was the medicine prescribed to heal me, it really was stand-up comedy. But just being with my family, and then we start bringing up those old stories of the person who's gone on. It's always gonna be it's such a genuine laughter because nobody's there thinking about laughter. So if anybody's laughing in the middle of grief, it's so genuine and true. And these stories, and you forget about them, and the grief is still there, the sadness is still there. We're still adjusting and making plans, and you have to just rebuild your life around this loss and this void. But for anybody who's grieving, lean into the laughter because it's such a unique way that God chooses to heal his people as they go through grief. And I think people disregard the amount of genuine soul healing on a molecular level. You feel it healing you, the laughter that lives. So when you get with family and share stories, and it's very real. It's a lot of things. Yes, it's sadness. Yes, it's a lot of crying. Yes, it's stress. Yes, there's a lot of things that live in that world, but laughter does live in the world of grief.
And death is actually a two-sided sword because while the same way it hurts, it is like you were saying, death makes you realize what's important. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we see it like when everybody's in the room and it's like death makes you realize nobody's thinking about their career, nobody's thinking about what bills they gotta pay, nobody's thinking about the 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 things that we worry about. Like
Right.
when you're in the room with your family celebrating that lost one, like
Yeah.
you really come to grips. I mean, then we move past it and we get caught up in the hamster wheel
Right.
again. But at that moment, it's a great one. And some things never change. Like some deaths change you forever.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's like you will never be the same. And like a lot of people saying, like, even with DC Fly, they was like, we'll never get a DC Fly, the same DC Fly. And I'm like, you're correct. I believe we'll get a better one.
Yeah. You.
But
Yeah. You get a better one.
but it's just a different perspective.
And I think not so much a better one, but like through these experiences you get to see how much is really in a person.
Yeah.
And so and I absolutely love the way the comedy community rallies around each other, but like with DC on Fly, we'll see in a beautiful way, I think, like really how much is in him, through his faith, through his comedy, and all those are gifts from God, and we'll see as he lives through his faith. But a great example was when Tony Baker lost his son, the way that he worked through that, and I'm like, you see a strength that maybe you didn't even know was in you. It's really, again, because of my personal experience with grief, and I know the effect that listening to stand-up comedy had on me and my healing.
Yeah, laughter is
I
good.
could directly connect it. I remember the moment because I would listen to it and I would be like, oh, that was funny. Listen to a joke or just listen, and I'll hear something else. And it was just such a range of stuff I was listening to. And I would be like, huh, that was funny. I remember the first time I said it out loud. I was like, huh, that was funny. I remember the first time that I actually just laughed, and it was like a shock to my body.
Yeah.
It was like, whew.
A breath of fresh air.
That felt amazing. I remember it so. I wish I could remember the joke, but I was listening to everybody from all genres, all new, old, white, black, Hispanic, like so much comedy. And it was I remember the one I was like, that was funny. I think it was like a Seinfeld, old Seinfeld sketch. And I was like, huh, that was funny. But the whatever I was listening to, the next one, my response was just to laugh. And I had not laughed in so long. And I just remember the physical, like, what did I just take a shot of? Oh my God, give me more of that, and it really.
A shot of joy.
Yes, it absolutely was. And so I just, pray specifically for those who minister comedy to people, those particular healers. For DC, I just, pray that he just continues in strength and dependence on the Lord.
Once again, prayers to the family.
Prayers for the family, for
Real
the
talk.
children.
We got a couple. I mean, it's like I said, a couple icebreakers just to get us warmed up. I do got some ratchet news.
Come on, listen. I've been in such real news. I've been, and real news is scandalous right now.
I do got some.
But give me
news.
some ratchet news.
Basketball player. We in the NBA again. It's not John Morant, and it's not as bad as John Morant, but it's still bad.
Bring me up to speak, 'cause I don't know nothing.
Zion Williams. Yeah,
Who he
you
play
know
for?
Zion Williams, the big. You might not know Zion. He was number 1 draft pick, I think, 2 years ago. This big phenom.
Who does he play for?
The Pelicans.
Okay.
But he's injured, whatever. And he's been injured for about 2 years on and off. He really ain't been playing too much because of his injuries. But anyways, he just announced his first baby, which congratulations to that.
Okay. Congratulations.
But the controversy comes with the one the young lady he got pregnant, whatever. I want to say a porn star type deal. Maybe not fully porn star, but she's definitely been in that field.
Okay.
But anyways, cool. I ain't got nothing against them. That's him.
Okay.
But the ratchetness comes when he announced it. I guess his side piece was another porn star, a real porn star, and she been going for 3 days straight on Twitter. Talking about you. I was just here. You did this to my body. I let you do this and this. And the thing is, like, I don't really feed into it because, like, at the same time, this could be a grab to get attention. But she is showing receipts. So it's real sloppy. You know what I'm saying? I just, at the end of the day.
How was how was the league? Because like here's the thing, that situation ain't unfortunately it ain't that all uncommon
It's not
from day to day
uncommon.
situation. So I guess my thing is like based on his career, how was the league responding?
The league ain't really saying. I mean, it's news. It's news, but it's like at the end of the day, the only person he really putting in danger. I mean, only person he really hurting now is him. I mean, the league is not. It's not the first basketball player that been with a porn star, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, his is a little.
You had the whole former president
His, I
got
mean,
indicted for paying hush money to a porn star while his wife was home with a new baby.
but
So like
it do make him look unfocused.
perspective.
Being that he's not been able to play like that because of his injury prone, and he's been looking out of shape. It's making him look like he's not taking his profession as serious as it should be. Now that is a downfall because it's like, okay, you hurt, we get it.
What is his injury? I mean, we
he
know what
keep-
it ain't.
He keep yeah, we know what. You know what I'm saying? That might be why he can't get back on the court so fast. But yeah, I mean but the thing is, it's a lesson.
It is a lesson.
Yeah, a young boy.
I want to ask a question, but I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to give him an out. But I did just do a whole segment in my not the current issue, but the last issue of Black Men and Mental Health. But if that's your career and you've been sidelined for that long, do you think it's maybe a symptom of a depressive state? Could it be?
I don't think not with him, right? I mean,
Listen,
it could.
this is a
be.
woman asking a man. I'm trying to give
I'm not.
give
I'm
a
not.
whole possibility of view.
I'm not saying I'm not in his head, but I don't think he's at the point because he's still pretty. You know what I'm saying? He just got a big check. To me, it was just he's green. Yeah,
How old is
he's
he?
like 22.
Oh, okay. You should have started with
He
22.
came from like small town in South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? He been famous since he was in 11th grade. He's in the league. He got this, and then it's like, yeah, I think he's just suffering from.
I tried to give you.
Nah,
No.
it's a lesson
Sorry,
to be
man.
learned because like
You're
listen,
gonna have to just learn and grow.
it's always
brother.
a conversation. Like
Learn
everybody,
and grow, brother. And also consequences
Listen,
are real.
when-
So
consequences are definitely real, and it's like the thing is when it come easy, you don't. And my thing is, I want him to, I want him to catch this before he understand, because he got these millions not easy, because he had to put in major work, but he been a star since he was in like a junior in high school. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
these millions, like when I get a million, I'm like that thing gonna be like I understand. And even now, a million ain't a lot, but basically a lot of money. He got a check, and he been doing what he do, what come naturally. He's a freak of nature when it comes to his body type. So he didn't really. His millions didn't really come as hard as it would as
Yeah.
somebody, you know what I'm saying, who didn't have his gift.
exactly, I got you.
So it's like not really appreciating what you got because you don't understand because it came easy.
Right.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
And that might be it, honestly.
But we gonna pray for my boy Zion, man. Listen, shout out to Zion, man.
Shout out.
I
Learn and
think
grow.
Kawhi-
Consequences are real.
my man, my man who was talking about Ja Morant, because he called Ja Morant NBA dumb boy, and he called Zion Williams NBA porn boy.
Oh
So,
no.
so they clowning him. But I mean, at the end of the day, he ain't hurting nobody. Like, the NBA not really tripping. I don't think his team might be looking like this. What you been doing? But other than that,
Especially not from the professional side of things. If you are like out with an injury with the anticipation that you're going to come back, and it looks like your focus isn't towards building yourself back up to come back, and you're getting distracted by other things that are causing greater complexities of issues in your life, just furthering to continuing to pull your focus. I think all of that's a valid concern from the teammates.
it's a valid concern. You know what I'm saying? But Zion out here, he you know what I'm saying? He's stroking.
So
He's standing up.
that's what he's been doing.
He's standing up
He's
in it.
stroking.
He really standing up in it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, get back on the court, Zion. Hey, listen, we are men. I'm coming from a man perspective. Like, I don't care. We faith meets culture. We got David, the most prime example. This man was a man of God on heart, and as a man, you must know, understand. And as a woman too, but I can't speak for women, so I can only speak for men. I know men. We are. Don't put yourself in a situation. When I first got saved, a mentor of mine, he was like, and it threw me off because I was literally just about to be baptized, and he was like, yeah, I mean, I'm saved. I done came a long ways, but he said, yeah, but I'm not gonna have lunch in a strip club. And it was just random, but basically he's saying I'm not gonna put myself in a situation. You know what I'm saying? Because truthfully, like you gonna regret it. You can beat yourself up. Why did I do this? But in the moment, you know what I'm saying?
You made a sober decision.
Yeah.
Even if you had a drunk actions are often made because of at some point you made a sober decision that you should have decided something else.
At the end of the day, don't put yourself in that position because period. Like you can.
Make good choices.
Yeah, know your kryptonites. You know what I'm saying? If your kryptonites is big butts and big boobs,
If you like big butts, then you cannot lie.
and you cannot lie. Money
Then maybe don't have lunch in a strip club.
especially when you come talk about any kind of success, men and women. You know what I'm saying? Because you got men that prey on women. It's the same way you got women who prey
prey
on
on men.
on men. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's men out here want to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
So it's what it is. But yes, there are.
So it's a lesson to be learned, but we're gonna move on from Zion.
All right,
Man.
let's keep it moving.
We're gonna call a spade today. We calling a spade a spade.
Spade. What are we talking?
To basically anybody who I don't know if you know. I'm gonna assume you know most people watching. I'm believing in Southern, but I'm talking to everybody. If you don't know what calling a spade is basically calling something.
Like it is.
Tell it like it is.
Basically, if that's what it is, say what it is. Don't dance around it.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to dress it up and make it pretty. If that's what it is, say what it is. Because if we're trying to deal with it as an issue, we're not going to be able to deal with it until we rightly identify where it is. So call it what it is, and then we'll move forward from there. Also, call a spade a spade.
Yeah, you got to call a spade a spade. And I was just coming from in every aspect. We use it a lot in basically like calling calling a person for who they is. Like if they're a thief, then call them. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. DMX said something. He said I don't have the energy to not trust people. I just trust people for who they are. Hold on.
Oh no! All right, y'all. Harm is having a moment. It's all good. So I'm flying solo at the moment. What's up, y'all? That's still rocking with me. No, we normally have our producer Keandra here with us, but she is still out dealing with some stuff, or either she's here and just getting settled. But Harmony wanted to come join the podcast, and Willie locked her out and said no, and she decided she wanted to be upset about it, and I probably would be too, because I'm a daddy's girl and I want to be doing what my daddy doing too. But yeah, so Willie had to step out. So we all good. We all good. Y'all know I am not good at feeling dead air. So I'm gonna do what I can. And Willie's, I told him I'm not good at feeling dead air, but I'm gonna do what we can.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
We gonna do what we can. No, it's all good. She good? Harm good?
Yeah, she good.
All right. I told her she just a daddy's girl, want to be around her daddy, and I get it because I'm a daddy's girl and I want to be around my daddy.
That is my daughter, and this is live parenting.
Listen, live parenting.
Live parenting. So I'm actually parenting.
Shout out to the Harris family.
Shout out to everybody who make a way, because I'm actually parenting and I'm actually hosting a podcast at the same
Parenting
time.
while podcasting.
Yo, no excuses. But nah, like I was saying, I'm gonna get back to the train of thought. We were talking about calling a spade and calling it what it is, and I'm just coming from a place. I don't think we can go to the next level until you fully embrace the truth of you, of people, of situations, or really, because sometimes even one of the things I'm bad with is I may see a red flag in a person, but I'm good at overlooking red flags, which is dangerous.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's dangerous, like when a person shows you who they are, and this is one example of calling. We got it's levels to this, but it's dangerous when a person shows you who they are and you don't acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta cut them off at that moment, but you to not acknowledge it is dangerous. It could be
Go ahead.
It could be dangerous to your growth. It could be something that stops you. You know what I'm saying?
I heard Dr. Matthew Stevenson say he does these lives that are really, really great. I'm really enriched by his teaching. But he was talking about, first of all, the pain of favor, and that was a whole word, just like what comes with being favored. And he really got into, he talked about different points. But one of them was jealousy, and in talking about what the environment of jealousy can look like, he was talking about like identifying a snake, and one thing he said was that a snake is only really dangerous when you don't know it's a snake. If you know that a snake is a snake and you know how snakes move, you don't have to expect them to change, but because you know, you can adjust around it without any unreasonable expectation of them changing who they are.
Yeah.
But if you don't know a snake is a snake and you're trying to handle it like it's something other than that, that's when you are in some real danger.
Yeah, that's facts.
But he was like, a snake is only dangerous when you don't know it's a snake. And again, that goes to our offline conversation about how to move in different places.
No,
You
that's
know what I'm
real.
saying? But yeah.
And that's, I mean, and you gotta call, you gotta, man, in order for you to level up, because first of all, nobody levels up alone. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take. I mean, you're gonna be around people. You're gonna have people to teach you, to help you, to encourage you. Nobody does it alone. But you, like, for me, that's one of the things. Like, okay, you gotta face it what it is. Another situation I had to be honest about was it's more people that assumes before they ask than those who ask before they assume.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like, and you learn that, but okay, when you go through, like, okay, when you go through something crazy, most people tend to get quiet. They tend to go into their little hole. Well, me, I do. You know what I'm saying?
Retreat.
I go in my little hole, retreat. You know what I'm saying? While I got everything else going on, and some people assume. You know what I'm saying? This, that. Other people, you know, they call and actually check on it. And but the truth is more people that assume without ever asking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like because as I'm going through hell or going through whatever, my mind is not thinking about, hey, let me call and tell this person I'm going through
Right,
something.
right,
Like, I'm
right,
not
right,
thinking
right.
about like filling you in. But if you call and ask me, you know, then I can
Right.
give you an answer.
And
You know what I'm saying?
especially if you are going through something transitional or that God is using to grow you into more of who he calls you to be, and at the end of this particular thing you will come out different in really good ways, then people assume your current behavior based on past actions that God may be changing through a situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, do.
And so it's like, okay, I'm assuming it's based on everything I've seen from her. Well, what if God is trying to reveal something new in her? Or what if God is trying to reveal something new? You have to go through this training ground of whatever situation or hardship or trial or just difference or transition to go through to get more. But most people's assumption, I would argue that the majority of people's assumptions come from either something that they've seen, or it has to be something from what they've seen or heard about you before in past times.
Yeah.
And they're trying to judge what you're currently going through, your current actions based on last things without a conversation, without a current conversation to bring them up to speed.
Yeah.
So they're going to assume based on the last thing they knew to be true about you. And it could still be some truth, but also you still have limited information. That's the danger of assuming, because you're forming an opinion or an outlook or perspective based off of limited information.
Limited information. That's one of the things that I had to acknowledge. And it's like, okay,
But also because you going through everything you're going through, like you said, I don't have time to call and check in with everybody. This is the current state of me.
Yeah.
This is the current state of me.
Yeah.
You know, and then for those people who are on the outskirts assuming, well, just wait until the after is revealed. But if they're close in inner circle and maybe you're going so much you don't have a chance to call and they didn't call you, then that's a communication issue within your relationships.
and
But either way, assuming it's natural, but we have to learn how to, it's never the best course of action. But it is natural to assume, but we have to be intentional about pushing past the assumption to get to the truth.
you do, and
It has to be a decision you make.
it has to be a decision. But then it is like once. But you have to realize that more people are going to assume than ask. So
then you ask, how many of those more people do I care about?
yeah, but that's when you get to the meat. Because that's what I say. I don't think you can advance until you face these realities. I won't say it's not a good example, but what I'm talking about, it really does fit the mold. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was losing weight, all these things, and they had all these things saying he's on drugs and all unnecessary things. Rest in peace to the king.
Rest in peace.
But listen,
King.
nobody like when you call a spade, you face that fact. Okay, now you have to face the fact that you are misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? Because how many people was tearing down Chadwick Boseman? How many media outlets were leaking pictures of this man, probably coming out of therapy? Who knows? This man was battling cancer as he was giving us, uh, Black Panthers
Yes,
and
these
these movies. You
amazing
know what I'm saying?
performances. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, call a spade a spade. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, now what? Okay, I'm misunderstood right now because this is not the truth,
It
but
was
this is what
funny.
they believe.
It's funny because there were people that were actually on set with him that I heard give interviews after, and I think one of the actors on set or something, they were saying, and I applaud them for being as honest and vulnerable and transparent as they were. They were on set with him, and they was like, he just is really like delicate, like in between scenes he would have people like massaging him,
Yeah.
or people like tending to him or caring for him or doing different things, and they wrote it off almost like a diva thing.
That was a diva, yeah.
And he was like, I just was like, oh, and but again, you don't have all the information, and like it's not that what you were making your assumption, or your perspective. It's not that it's not true what you're seeing. It's just not the whole story. You know, so that's where it's like it can get. You decide what you want to address. Now, if it's like an outright lie, that's one thing. But sometimes it's like, well, they did see this and they did see that, but it still was just pieces of a bigger picture that they only had two pieces of like this 1,000-piece puzzle. You know, and so it's not that what you're seeing isn't true, but is it the whole story?
And this is I got like two more, and then it goes to the heart of why I say. And this is how many times, since this is faith meets culture, how many times does the the heroes of the Bible set out and do things that were misunderstood by the masses? Matter of fact, let's even start with Jesus.
I mean, we can start. I would say we can start right there.
If we gonna call a spade, and I've been thinking about this, and I always say, if we gonna call a spade, let's call Jesus for what he would have been labeled in his time. Jesus was a rebel, clear out, throughout. He was a rebel. You know what I'm saying?
Radical.
Radical. That's a better word. You know what I'm saying?
Radical.
And it was like, let's not pretend like, listen. The people who got him crucified were the people of the church, and if you're gonna call a spade, well, let's do that with our Savior. Let's not act like we don't have these gospels, and he's constantly going against the status quo. He's and it's like, how many times does God tell people to do things that were misunderstood by the masses at first?
All the time.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all the time.
And it's like,
go out here in front of this whole Red Sea and hold up a stick.
And it's like,
what?
This where coming. This where you having a personal relationship with
Thunder and God is joining our podcast in the form of thunder today. You are welcome.
Yeah, facts. And so it's like, do you got the? I just did a video. Like, do you got the courage to be? Do you have the courage to be misunderstood? Do you have the courage to be uniquely who you are? It's like, because you gotta call it spade. You gotta face these truths. You gotta face the facts that most people are gonna assume before they ask. You have to face the truth that that most people don't see you for who you are really. They see you for who they think you are. And are you like,
or for who you are in relation to them?
Or who
they are, like, who are you in relationship to how you benefit me? Who are you in my life, basically?
Yeah.
That is the thing. It's just like, well, who is this person in my life? You know? And when you realize that person ain't really got much to do with your life except what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many. And again, it depends on how close you are to this thing.
Yeah.
But in this era of this mass media, you got to really be okay with people gonna say some wild stuff.
Yeah, and
with the bare bones of minimal information.
And if you're gonna call,
they'll take it and run. Like, the number of people I was seeing, it was interesting. The number of people, did y'all see? Do y'all watch, like, on Tabitha Brown Fridays with Tab and Chance? They were talking about basically like how they did several clips, and I thought it was very balanced. Basically, Chance going on like, dude, don't be around my wife disrespectfully. Single man.
I heard about that.
And also single women, don't be, but though some of the responses that I saw from people about, they just took it to a whole different way, but it's also, I think it was extracted. They extracted out of context something like her clip and partnered it with other things that they wanted and create their own narrative. I'm like,
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, but
you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
it's the same.
for even if any of this were true, like some of this is like true in part, but like where you decide you stitch it together to make this whole other picture, but also like, how is this affecting you directly? Or are you borrowing her name to get more views to your posts?
Well, you know, cloud. You know, and but that's
Cardi
really
B told us about that cloud. Do
That's-
anything for cloud.
but that's really, man, like that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't even about to veer off on
Yeah,
that
let's
conversation.
not. I'm sorry to pull it back.
No, I ain't even about to veer off on that conversation. Calling a spade a spade. You can't call a spade if if you're not able to call a spade to yourself. Like acknowledging the things where you lack, acknowledging where you slip. That's a huge one. Acknowledging what I need. We were talking about this before the podcast. Acknowledging, okay, I know what I need to do, or like just basically facing the facts. Because I don't think, like I said at the beginning, I don't think you can go get to that next level. Whatever your next level is, I don't think you can get to great without acknowledging, like just fully embracing truth. And it ain't always, because when you fully embrace truth, like I said, it's gonna be people that's not gonna be in the picture. It's gonna be habits that's not gonna be in the picture. Especially when it comes to your relationship with God. One of my most popular videos is when I was talking about when I did the interview with Darius, and I was talking about how when I met God,
That was a great interview.
when I really met God was when I had nobody else and no other answers, and it was like I had this mental image, this mental idol of God, but it was something that I fabricated. You know what I'm saying? And it was like I had to call a spade a spade. And the first thing I had to do was say I didn't I didn't have a relationship. I had a religion that was passed down to me. You know what I'm saying? I had a tradition.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I had what mama told me, what grandma told me. I did not have a relationship.
This is what we believe. Here's the handbook.
Yeah. And it's go from there. And it's like
Here's the behavioral guy.
Yes.
and God goes from being your savior to your God to like almost a charm. Like when you're in a bad situation, okay,
Yeah.
God, I need you. You know what I'm saying? Or like it wasn't real. So I mean, we can go to all different levels, but
But even that stuff, like we were talking before, like that self-awareness is so important. Calling a spade, like get in the mirror and calling a spade, especially if you say there's somewhere you want to go. You can't make an accurate plan for how to get there if you aren't honest with where you really are today.
that's facts. If you ain't got no bread,
Like, okay, I want to get here. How do I get there from here? If you're not honest about where here is, the directions depend on the current location. So I could give you directions to Savannah State from here, but like, where you coming from? That's the like. Well, how do I get there? The first question is, okay, I see where you're trying to go. Tell me where you coming from. And if you aren't honest about where you're coming from, then you're gonna have some inaccurate directions, or you might get lost. But again, if the goal is to get somewhere that you're not, you got to be honest about where you are today.
yeah.
And that self-awareness and calling a spade is like, you know what? And honestly, if the goal is to be somewhere else, there's probably something that you're dissatisfied with about where you are.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem. That's a sign of growth. Doesn't mean you dislike anything, but you may just see more for yourself. But the pathway to get where you want to go from where you are is to be honest about where you are.
You got to.
You have to, or the instructions that you get won't work for you because they're coming from a different place.
And it comes from a fantasy. It's not even based on reality. Eric Thomas, he came on, and Eric Thomas, he's a hip hop preacher. He real famous about he real known for his faith and his belief. And he was like, I was delusional because I was thinking that he was saying I was delusional because I was thinking, if you treat people good, they treat you good in return. But the reality of it is that
It's heartbreaking. It's not always the
But
case.
the reality of in this world, when you're good, is more likely that people will try to take advantage of your goodness. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't come into this world with that reality, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be constantly taken advantage of, which is going to lead to bitterness, unforgiveness, and on a whole So we gotta call a spade in every area. You
And
know
I
what I'm
had to do
saying?
that with myself. I was like, you know what? I realized some things that I really, really love about myself, about my personality, about the way I interact with people that I really love. However, they could be very easily taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I had to just be really, really honest with myself about that. Like, this is true about me, and that could be very easily taken advantage of. So, my prayer for myself after having that honest call a spade moment was, I don't want to stop being this, but I need a safe place to be fully myself. And so I can't be this with everybody because they will take advantage.
Yeah.
And it's going to leave me hurt. It's going to leave me betrayed. It's going to leave me whatever. But I really like this about myself. I just need safe spaces, real friends, real people who love me. I need a safe place, a safe inner circle to be this part of myself. And I can be selective with that outside of that safe space, but I need to know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
Know that, okay, this is true about you. This is a good thing, but people can take advantage of a good thing. So just be like, again, as long as you know fully what you're dealing with, you make better decisions.
Yeah. You got to. You got to be real. It's an old saying that nice
Build
guys
better relationships.
they do. Cause I mean, you got to like for real. Cause even in relationship, like people take advantage. Like you think I do good to you, and it's in return. But like I said, a lot of what a lot of people have in is not even friendship. It's just somebody is actually benefiting.
Placeholder.
Yeah,
Or a
yeah,
leech.
they basically benefiting.
I've been in a leech situation before.
Yeah, like if
I've
like
been in
you
a
got
placeholder situation, but you just see so much and you're just like, Lord, don't let me go through this and me not learn. But I was so determined that, especially of difficult things I go through, Lord, I want, because education is so valuable to me. I'm like, if I got to go through this, give me the lessons. Give me the lessons so this doesn't feel like a waste of time or anything like that. But that takes some real self-awareness and real honesty with self and calling a spade in the mirror. Like, I really do want to be better. This is really true. This really happened. Wow, my defenses were down here. I had a blind spot here. All of this is true, but I want to move forward. But if I had to go through it, it was rough, but if it gives me a lesson that makes the rest of my life better, make sure that I see the lesson clearly and apply it so it doesn't feel like it was a waste of time or a waste of myself in an area.
yeah, you gotta be listen. I got people that I got close people, and it's like my ability to be like, okay, this person is this person. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I can know that, and it's like okay, and that I can love them accordingly, and vice versa. I mean, people do that to me too. I might have a tendency of being late from time to time. It's like the people who love me, they understand that. But it's like,
I've gotten so much better.
but at the same time, like yeah, if you don't, then yeah, you will be blindsided, and from a faith standpoint, you will be it'll hurt you because if you naive to the fact that this person uh is this way, or if you're naive to the fact that you're being manipulated, you know what I'm saying? Then when that rock finally hits you, it's like man, that's when bitterness come. That's when the big hearted people become, mean. It's
Yeah.
like be like take their whole aura away. You know what I'm saying?
And
Because they hurt.
yeah, and that's why I tell y'all all the time. Like once I know I'm an overthinker thing, and I'm like, Lord help me, But I was like, if I can tweak this just a little bit, because I used to be so self-critical and beat myself over bad decisions, or whether it was like knowingly a bad decision, or just like I didn't know, I went with the knowledge I had at the time, and this just kind of blew up in my face in a certain way. And I used to be so self-critical, so hard on myself, and I was like, you know what, this is not serving you to criticize yourself. You're gonna have enough critics. Like, then I was like, okay, I can be self-analytical, and that comes with a lot more grace than criticism. So, like, again, call a spade a spade. Okay, let me analyze it. Like, if something happened, let me analyze what happened. What was my role in what happened? How can I be better? Where was my blind spot? Did I just not know enough? Did I not? Or maybe it's just I had no control over it, but I will analyze the situation, myself, what I had control over. I release other people and I will just learn from that. and I will analyze it, but I won't beat myself up over it. I will make sure I will learn from it. So I'm self-analytical, not nearly as much as I'm self-critical. And that tiny little tweak really transformed the way I go through life situations.
I mean that come with trial and error.
Yeah, still ongoing trial and error.
That come with trial and error, but it's like
It's just like, wait, don't beat yourself up. Because in some of the things you still do, but not nearly as much. And just like, well, analyze it. And sometimes you might feel bad, or sometimes like, oh, dang. Like, feel your feelings.
yeah,
But also, it gave you a lesson, and education is valuable. So this wasn't wasted. And now we can move forward and be better in this area for the rest of my life and continue to get better in this area. And so I'm always growing. And so I'm like, okay, there's so much grace that comes with the analysis that does not come with the criticism.
yeah, that's
So
real.
I was like, I'll take the analysis of myself versus I'm not going to join anybody else in beating myself up.
Nah, cause you ain't gonna win. That's gonna have you just feeling
Right.
bad.
So, self-analytical, not self-critical, but like, Audrey, give yourself some grace. And it's like, well, I knew what I knew. I was like, oh, I knew better there. Yeah, I did it. I own your thing, but like for the purpose of being better going forward.
Yeah, because
But then once you do that with yourself, with the level of grace, you find yourself being more graceful and gracious with other people.
yeah,
Even if you have to back away from them, even if you have to draw a clearer boundary line, even if you have to make some decisions, it's not coming from the negativity that comes with criticism. It's just like, well, you know what? I've analyzed. I was actually coaching my just kind of talking my friend through some different things. I was like, listen, I see you. They dead wrong. I know you hurt. Don't respond like this. Respond like this. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Feel your feelings. If you feel like you want to vent, text me. Don't put this out into the interwebs where it could backfire and hurt you more. But I understand that you're hurt. This stings. And I understand. Feel your feelings and get it out. But let's make a better decision and be better from this, and don't get stuck in this cycle, in this arena, and keep going around and around in these same circles with same people with different faces.
Yeah.
Same faces,
Same
different
thing.
situation, same thing. Like, no, let's learn from it. Let's analyze it and see what you could have done differently, and okay, what could you do differently to maybe get out of this cycle. And maybe the difference is silence.
yeah,
Don't respond, which can be hard when you've been wronged. Sometimes the difference is I don't normally speak up for myself, and this time I am speaking up for myself.
yeah.
And so it just depends on the different situations. But you gotta, if the goal is to move forward from this place, you gotta be honest about what this place is.
Yeah.
You have to.
That's real.
This is really what I look like. This
Yeah.
is really what I sound like. This is really what I did. This is really what happened. This is really what I weighed. This is really what, you know what I'm saying? This is really
No, that's real.
my life. This is really the decision I made that lets this real result. Okay. Not good or bad. This is what it is. From here, how do we move closer to where we want to be? And there you go.
And with you saying all that, you pretty much like that's pretty much what I'm saying. Cause like even like especially when it comes to your personal relationship with God, like God deals in truth, and
Yes.
and when the Holy Spirit, like it's not condemnation, it's conviction. So that's more.
I
Being,
could give a whole word.
but it's like God, like He's like whatever the ordeal is, whether it's something that you struggle with, like He's not going to sugarcoat. If it's wrong, He's going to address it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is okay. This is you, basically. This is you right here. This is what we need to work on. This is where you. There's no like, cause he can't lie. You know what I'm saying? But it's not conviction. So it's like He only deals in truth. He only deals in truth. Even when you read about Jesus, some of the stuff he said sounded kind of like he's like, oh, you had to say it like that. But he only deals in truth. Like you had people coming up to Jesus. One lady came and was asking for, for prayer, basically miracle. And Jesus said basically like, why would I give the children's food to a dog? You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's cultural differences.
But also, because she responded with another truth, he was like, okay.
But yeah, truthfully, and it was like he wasn't saying it out of just I'm degrading you.
He's like, but even the dogs get these rights. That's also true.
That's true.
You got it.
You
know what I'm saying?
So it's like I tell people, I tell people that face because I don't think we can't grow in our relationship with God, with Christ, if we don't call a spade a spade. Because if you over here struggling and you trying to tuck this while you trying to tuck this in the back while you go in prayer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you basically doing the circles. You know what I'm saying? It's like you never bring even though God already knows you haven't brought that little thing you struggle or where you weak at or where you need help at. You haven't brought that you haven't asked God about
Right.
that. You haven't even acknowledged it. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like because he deals in truth, he's like basically, I know what's going on, but in prayer is where you're revealed to yourself.
Yeah.
And so because he's like, listen, I deal in 100% truth. I am trying to get you to join me in the truth about you.
Because you want to really be
I
healed.
remember years ago, I was in this relationship, and I finally got out of it. And people were asking, "Well, how long did it take you to get over such and such and this?" And I was like, I had to be really honest. I was like, you know what? Not long. Once I was honest about it, it took about a year for me to get honest. It took a year of me saying, I don't care about this person, or I don't really care. I don't. And the truth was, I did care, but I kept saying that I didn't. I kept saying I was fine. I kept saying, no, I'm good, I'm good. And I can remember when I went into prayer and I said, Lord, I do care, but I don't want to anymore. God was like, I can do something with that. But the whole time you're saying you don't care, and I know you do, you stuck right here in this whole. And from when I was honest about where I was like, you know what? I don't want to care at this level. I don't want this to take up this real estate in my mind and in my heart. God, I really do care, but I don't want to anymore at this level. Help me. And when I say it was almost immediate. When I say yes, something like broke. Like it was so immediate because God deals in truth. And when you can be honest about where you are, you can start to get into some real movement toward where you want to go. But my that particular healing journey, like I was like stuck until I was honest.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to really be
God
healed.
and myself.
You want to really be healed. You don't want to look healed. But I think
Willie.
you know what I'm saying. You don't want to look whole. You want to be
I
whole.
want to be it.
You want to actually feel joy. You don't want to fake joy. You don't want to post joy.
I might put that on a shirt.
You feel me?
Feel joy, don't fake joy.
We live in a really superficial culture due to the internet, and it's like I say we. I put all of us in the thing. We want to look the part. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people want to look rich instead of really being rich. You know what I'm saying?
And what's funny is the upkeep of looking like you're rich is actually working against the goal of actually being.
And you got so many examples. I mean, what's the boy name who did it? Who was Derek Jackson? You know, like he looked like he had all the answers.
Not to me. He never looked like it to me.
Well, to a lot of women.
I always had questions. I was like, why he in the doghouse in that garage? Like, why he ain't never? And don't get me started on Derek Jackson.
But you got people like that,
like
the superficial.
I just feel like he was. You never had any. It was never any authenticity from his real life. It always felt like he was schooling other brothers.
Yeah.
Because he had it so. I was like, if you can hear authenticity in people, and I just never heard it from him. I took a little too much joy in seeing his fall. Lord forgive me.
It was crazy.
Isn't his wife speaking out now?
Yeah, she was. She really.
Like he was like with at least 100 women during the time of him.
I didn't hear that, but I heard the verse
I
stuff.
heard
though.
a clip
I mean,
said like he made a whole list, and out of the list that he actually shared with her, it was at least 100 women.
100 women.
At least.
Good God, well, Derek was getting it in, ain't it? That's crazy. And but you know, I ain't even gonna get in Derek, but it's like the whole thing I'm gonna just slide out of Derek, man. But that's just one example. I mean, you can go it's like we live in this superficial culture. I mean, you can go from everything from the internet, even to church culture. How many people prefer to look saved? Look.
What does looking say?
I mean, it's a look. It's a look. It's a culture. It's a culture.
That Tyler Perry play when she walked that girl down the street. He said, "Ooh, you look blessed." Girl came down in Cora's old dress.
I mean, how many people want to look blessed instead of really being it? And that's just what I am. Let's call a spade a spade. Like if I'm not at peace, I want to be able to say I'm not at peace. But how can I get there? I really, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't want to fake peace.
No.
I don't want to fake wholeness. I don't want to like I want to get to the root of the issue, and that didn't come. That wasn't me always. That was me fronting until I finally got to the place. All right, look,
To quote my granddaddy, you can only fake for so long.
for real. You can only fake me like you.
You can only fake for so long.
It gotta be authentic, and if it's not authentic, it ain't real. If it ain't real, it really ain't worth having. You know what I'm saying? For real. Unless you only do it, you know what I'm saying, to just for face value, man. Like for real, like
That's it.
we got the whole
That's
posters.
it. Who you doing it for?
Who are you
If
doing it
you are
for?
living a whole fake life, then who are you doing that for?
I think it feeds in insecurity. I mean, we can go to whole different kind of. We can go there. That's like a million different conversations. But I just want cause like when you ever been in a super good mood, like you ever been like in a super really good mood and like you don't care if nobody know. You could be sitting
Yeah.
down watching your favorite show, eating your favorite ice cream, and you just be you got real joy in that moment. You feel what I'm saying? You don't gotta
Yes.
post it, you don't gotta write about it, you don't gotta text nobody and call. You just simply enjoying being at peace.
What's so interesting is that because of this I blame the social media era for this feeling. But I had so many moments like that, like over the past week, that I was like, I really feel real joy in this moment. I really feel real peace. I see something that I believe is truly beautiful.
Yeah.
And to resist the urge to capture it and post it online. I'm like, this could, and also, I'm glad that it was a lesser thought, like, well, this could make dope content, or I could, or, because I was breaking away, again, dealing with some family things. I'm like, so I kind of was quiet on social media for a while. I'm like, magazine's still out, this still out. I could post this, as a way just to keep activity, in my accounts. But then it was just like, this moment is too precious. It's just mine, and I was glad but it was a real I felt a real resistance. Like, do I keep this to myself, or share it with the world? And my thing is, share it with the world that won't even feel it the same way you feel it, and it's gonna get devalued. So I was like, I'm just gonna just have this moment. I was like driving in the mountains and having all these nostalgic memories. So I learned how to driving to Tennessee, and I'm just like, this is so beautiful, and just being in the mountains and doing this and being, and like, it was so many little moments that I was like, I could snap a picture, and I could let this be, I could take this beautiful, real, authentic moment and turn it into content. I'm like, you know what? It could do a little something, but content is a downgrade from what I'm feeling in this moment.
Yeah.
Even if it's just me in front of a TV eating butter pecan ice cream.
And that's what you really want to feel that, man. It's like
So I just want to keep living for those moments without the need to let the whole world in.
it's like even like especially when it comes to your faith, like if God is all we say He is, which He is, you know what I'm saying,
more.
and more. But it's like, okay, it's no need to like fake in front. Okay, if I'm not feeling the peace that surpasses all peace right now, God, why? You know what I'm
Why?
saying? And how do I get there? You know what I'm saying? It's like, let me not flex. I'm not saying.
First step to getting there is, okay, where you coming from?
Yeah.
Where are you authentically, truthfully? Where are you now? And again, to a natural place. Like if I say, hey, give me instruction. Hey, can you tell me how to get such? Okay, where you coming from? That's the first. It'll roll off your tongue. The first question is, all right, wait, what side of town you coming from? Okay. That informs the instructions I give you to get you where you say you want to go. And so when we go to God in prayer, or we go to our notebooks with these goal lists or anything, anytime we're trying to get to a future place, the first step is being honest about where our current place is, because the plan depends on where you're starting from in relation to where you want to go.
That's
And so you gotta call a spade, and it's gotta start in the mirror. And if you can get it right in the mirror and learn grace, because you should. I'm asking him to change his place. So, but then if you can learn to give yourself that grace, it becomes so much easier when you're having to call some external spades, and also give them some grace as well. But I'm like, if you're really trying to grow, you nailed it. You got to call a spade, and you got to do that thing in the mirror.
And you know when it's hardest to call it, because you know when it's hardest to call a spade when you have to call a spade against something that you like. but gotta stop. It's something that you like. That's when calling a spade easy when it's like, okay, I know I ain't, okay. It may be a little easy when it may be a little easier for you to say, okay, this person is really like this. Even though that's hard sometimes, because sometimes you like people, but you realize that I can't look over this. But it's really hard to call a spade when it's something that you like.
Yeah, something that you like, or somebody that you
So
love.
somebody that you like, or a situation,
or yeah.
or whatever the thing is, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God may say, okay, this is I don't want you here. This is bad. I don't want you here right now. And sometimes it's hard to call, like, dang, like, I like this. I like this setup. I like this
just like,
job. I like this habit. Whatever the
wasn't
case
this a
is.
good thing going?
You know what I'm saying? That's when calling a spade a
Yeah,
spade.
but for where you want to go, you're going to have to let this go for the sake of more
Yeah.
discipline, or
Yeah.
for the sake of
Yeah.
for the sake of where you want to go.
There's no, like, you can only get so far. But you know what I'm saying? You can't, that whole fake it till you make it, nah. That's only gonna take you too far. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get into arenas you are not prepared for, and you have been lying to yourself the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so yeah, I just want people to really, I want to really feel peace. I want to really enjoy myself. I want to really live life. You know what I'm saying? I really want to do this thing. I really want to know God, not just on a superficial level. I really want to experience these things before I leave this earth. I don't got time. It may be an age thing. I know I ain't old, but I'm 33, and it's like, okay, I ain't got time to play with y'all. Like, listen, like, I don't got time to be fronting. And nah, I really want to be whole. I really want to feel joy.
Yes.
I really want to, you know what I'm saying, enjoy my life.
Real life.
Real life, no filter. You know what I'm saying? No filter. Outside of the filters. No shade on the filters, but outside ain't nah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna start by calling a spade a spade. So
Yes.
I mean, you got it. I mean, we've been going about an hour, so
That's it.
you got any last things you want to say?
I want to thank everyone who has engaged with Royal Ink, the magazine,
Okay.
the education issue so far. I'm on the third issue. It's a quarterly publication. The engagement, there were so many different things around this release because of some technical difficulties on the back end, but the community is growing. The number of people that are engaging with the content has grown. I just want the people who contribute regularly, the people who may be first-time features, all of you, because of the new release, the older issues are getting more views on them, and it's like I said, I created this for us, for all of us at this level, doing all of this work that I think deserves to be celebrated for its significance. And I just want everybody, again, thank you to those who are just exploring the magazine, but those who contribute and trust me to represent you well, and the engagement and the way that it's growing exponentially from issue to issue. Just, and so to know, for the brands, your brands are getting out there to this many more people. You know, your articles, your perspective is getting out there to this many more people. And I just want you guys to know that this network, this community of dopeness that we're building is working, and it can't work without you. So I just want to say thank you for everybody who's continuing. And I still got some podcast interviews to do. I'm reaching out to people to do some different interviews for people that we featured. That's what we take the 3 months in between issues to do. So we still gotta kind of go into phase 2 of it. But the response from this issue has been just overwhelming. It grows, like the numbers show, like it grows from issue to issue. And we still get into the meat of this one. So just thank you guys, and continue to share the link. If you have it, just share it to anybody you think may enjoy any part of it. So thank you.
All right, facts. Royal Ink Magazine.
Royal Ink Magazine.
It's issue number 3.
Number 3, the education issue.
Congratulations on that. Well, I'm good. I'm talked out. We good. This is No Labels Podcast, man. We about to be out of here. We got the Queen just came in the building. Miss Keandra.
Yeah.
But we out of here, man. We love y'all. We thank y'all for
All
supporting.
right, y'all.
And we out.
Yeah. All right. All right.